Big Things Coming is proudly brought to you by Dazzle Home Loans. Darren's 15 years experience in finance will remove the worry when buying your new home. What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Big Things Coming.
Yoo-hoo!
I'm joined by my friends Mel.
Hi,
how you doing,
I'm
Mel?
good. How are you?
I'm great.
It's good to see you.
Geordie?
Geordie.
No Geordie. Crickets.
What the fuck is
Geordie,
Jordan?
we're for out there. We don't have Geordie for this week, possibly next week. We'll see how he goes. So you know what? Fiona Berardini, come on down.
It's nice just to change it up. We miss Geordie.
Yeah.
He's always like a pivotal, person on the show. But
Geordie's the one that keeps us centered and well behaved,
Yes.
right? Like
he's like, let's get back to it.
this show would turn to chaos very quickly.
So you have to
Chuck
be
your
that
headphones
person.
on, Fee.
It's your go now. You have to be that person, Fiona. Keeping
Fiona
us in line.
Berardini, filling in for Jordan Paul. Thank you very
It's a
much.
close-up.
Oh, thank
All
you.
right, Mel.
Yes.
Who have we got this week?
I'm so stoked. I've been asking this person for a while to come on the show, and he's a little bit shy.
Right.
But I've known this guy for the best part of my life, since we were in high school together.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but
Okay.
he doesn't remember that. So I obviously made an impression in high school.
Well, you're a year older than that.
Yeah, okay, shush down. But yeah, we met again sometime after high school, and we've just been, the greatest friends since. So basically, he's been this guy who has been such a close friend of mine, and I've seen him grow with music and what he does with it. We had a little acoustic duo. We wrote one song actually, never recorded it properly.
What's his name?
Well, I'm going to tell you because it's really exciting for me to have him on because he's in a few different bands, and I'm going to let him tell you all about it. But this is my very good friend, Mr. Andrew Doepel.
Andrew, how you doing, buddy?
Hello, guys.
Thank you very much for joining us today,
For
mate.
having me. Thank you for having
Did
me.
you like that intro?
That's
That-
very nice.
that was
I could
huge.
write a whole novel on
You
this
could do my
guy.
eulogy for me.
No, I'm really, really stoked to have you on, and I'm so glad that you accepted the offer to come on because Andrew's he's just recorded yet another album.
Oh,
I think
fantastic.
it's like the second in a year. Is that right?
3.
Okay,
Wow.
Third one in a year.
Yeah, with different projects.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
So tell us about the
That's
projects.
cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, the one that you're referring to, the latest album,
Mm-hmm.
is a black metal band.
Yeah.
Closer.
Black metal, yeah, okay.
Hello.
There you go. It's
All
better.
sexy.
Yes.
So, yes, I've been playing black metal music
Yep.
since 1995, 96.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. And what do you do in the band?
Guitar.
Oh, you're a guitarist? Yeah, me too, man.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
sick.
yeah, guitar. I play guitar and bass. Played
Okay.
bass in a lot of bands,
Yeah.
live for years.
Yeah,
In my
okay.
20s and
Yeah.
30s. 45 now, so...
45
It's hard to
young,
try and...
man. 45 going on
I've
21.
got like this timeline I've got to try to think of right now. When I was younger,
yeah, back
in the
my
day.
back in my day, I played black metal and I still am.
That's sick.
So the band is called Sekt,
Sekt.
S-E-K-T.
Yeah, Sekt. Okay. And how did the name Sekt come about? Like,
Well, that's what we are.
yeah, okay.
You know,
Like
we're a sect.
Sekt.
It was just in my brain, like a
Yeah.
cult.
Yeah, okay.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't know how these things happen, man.
No, it's all right.
It's interesting,
Yeah.
but the creative way things happen.
yeah.
Yeah.
I do so many things, and
Yeah.
I think spending a lot of time alone
Yeah.
manifests ideas.
Mm.
And I'm extremely busy
Yeah.
with different work and different bands and stuff. So I'm always
Yeah.
doing something. But when I'm alone, it's my time.
Yeah.
And then when I'm chilling, ideas just pop into my head and it just doesn't stop. And it's always been like that
Yeah.
since I was a kid. Being just and loving music. Black Sabbath was my first absolute love when I was younger.
Fiona's getting excited there.
Fiona, I just met Fiona before and instantly I was like, I like this girl.
yeah.
We love her.
My uncle gave me a Black Sabbath Volume 4 record when I was about 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
About 10 years old, I think. And, I
Oh, you missed a great tribute band last night. Shout
Yeah.
out to Psychonaut.
Oh, nice. There we go.
Good friends of mine.
Oh, okay.
So Seb, the drummer from
Yep.
Psychonaut, has played on one of my old projects, Shrapnel,
Oh, awesome.
as our drummer when we were playing
He's
live.
a great drummer.
Absolutely. So yeah, when I was a kid, you know, I used to come home from school and I'd ask, Dad, can you put the record player on?
Yeah. Yeah.
Put headphones on me, and I'd just sit there like quiet. So I'd sit there
Yeah.
because I would never sit. You know, I was always running around like a
Yeah.
maniac.
Yeah.
So I'd sit there and just listen to this sound that was not from this world.
Yeah.
When you're a kid and you listen to Black Sabbath for the first time with no reference,
Yeah.
and no one's there telling you about anything, no one's guiding you through this journey. You're just listening to Black Sabbath alone as a child, and it was akin to watching a horror film when you're young.
Yeah.
Like when you first watch like a really good horror film, like let's just say Aliens,
Yeah.
or Alien,
Yeah.
and you first see that alien pop out of that guy's chest.
Yeah.
That's an impression when you're young,
Yeah.
Yes.
or Evil Dead and all that stuff. You know?
Yep.
So you know, I've always liked the darker elements of art,
Yep.
be it horror films or heavy metal.
Yep.
And I was lucky because I was born in 1980. So I guess the tail end of the 70s was still,
Yeah.
it was still...
It was still pumping for you. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
the transition between hard rock to heavy metal
Yeah.
in the 80s,
Yep. Well, Black Sabbath
And
are
then
the
in the
pioneers of the term
Well,
heavy
100%.
metal. Yeah.
that's what I mean. So then, in the 80s, things got more progressed,
Yeah.
Yeah.
shall we say. So
Yeah,
darker music came
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
So, like Venom and Bathory.
Do you
Stuff
think
like
we are at the peak of how heavy metal can go?
I don't know if I know really what you mean. Do you
Meaning-
mean
so-
sonically, how heavy it can go?
Well, you look at the
Or how
progression
extreme
in the
it can go.
timeline. Yeah. So I mean,
I think
since Black Sabbath to, let's take someone like, I don't know, a massive metal band today, like how heavy it can go. You get like Cannibal Corpse and shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So
Like you've got deathcore, metalcore.
I think it's just been
Is it
subgenred
at its
so much
peak,
now.
or
Well,
do you
that's
think
just-
someone's just going to go, you know what,
It's
I
an
can go
interesting-
even heavier now?
it's an
Like,
interesting question.
It is an interesting question.
I think, I listen to a lot of sub-genres.
yeah, okay.
Subcultures.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I listen to bands that most people don't.
Yeah.
will
I
never-
can't even pronounce them.
will- they'll
It's
never.
about that.
They'll never know about these
Yeah.
bands
Is it like Norwegian
unless you
black
go
metal or
down those
something? Yeah.
rabbit holes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the bands that pop up to, let's say, commercial status.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So like,
Yep.
let's just say the Slayers and the
Yeah.
Metallicas and then the
Yeah.
Rammsteins and the Cannibal Corpse.
The well-known
Deicides,
names
Yeah.
Morbid
everywhere.
Angel,
Yeah, yeah.
Entombed,
Yep.
blah, blah, blah. They hit a certain peak
Yeah.
and Creator and all that stuff. Bands that really got there commercially
Yeah.
as a business, right?
Yeah.
So I listen to primarily music which isn't
Yep.
necessarily a full-time job for these guys.
It's like underground sort of stuff.
Yeah.
100%
Yeah,
underground.
yeah.
Okay.
So the stuff that I listen, I could show you some stuff right now that is beyond extreme,
Yeah. Okay.
and
And I can attest to that.
But the point, what I'm saying is, it will never break through to the mainstream.
No, it won't.
Yeah.
No.
Because it's not mainstream music, and nor should it be. 'cause
And it
it's-
wasn't written that way either.
Yeah.
It's underground music for a reason.
Yeah.
So there's some extreme guys
Yeah,
pushing
okay.
some stuff.
Yeah.
But we'll never hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
There's probably some guys right now in
I'll get you to.
Seattle just in a garage.
Yeah.
We'll never hear it.
I'll get you to send me some of this
Oh,
stuff.
he'll
man.
send
Like,
you, and then
like,
you'll need to
'cause-
go and get some therapy.
Yeah, I needed therapy before I met Andrew, man.
So, I mean, I know we're on a limited time, and I know he's a great guy to speak with, and we can talk. We do talk
I
for
think
hours.
I can learn a lot from this.
Yeah,
man.
we need to get him back again where he can bring some people and play
Yeah.
with them. But I kind of want to move to your actual projects now and talk about that, because we're here to talk about you, not.
Yep.
But it's good to know your influences, of course.
So you've got Sekt,
Yeah.
and what else is going on?
Yeah, well, it's just so Sekt is interesting because I'll just give you a quick timeline of Perth.
Sure.
Perth, early 90s.
Okay.
There was only 3 bands playing black metal.
Okay.
No one had heard of this term before.
Yeah.
This conversation, like,
Yeah. It
Wasn't-
wouldn't even exist. Yeah.
So there's a small handful of people that were into this music, and there was a guy called Pete Dunstan
Pete Dunstan. Okay.
who had a program on RTR, a radio program
Oh,
on
okay.
RTR FM
Yeah.
called Behind the Mirror.
I reckon our mate Dazzle
I reckon you
might
might
know
know
him.
him,
So,
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
So Pete had a black metal radio, an actual black metal radio station on RTR-FM,
yeah.
which shaped all of our lives because he was showing us music
Yeah.
from Europe that were still underground bands.
Yeah.
And it was like a gateway because we're in Perth. This is sort of internet was nothing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. It was still dial up then.
Yeah, it was nothing. It was magazines. So
Yeah.
anyway, there was like 3 bands in Perth playing that sort of music. There was Samhain,
Yep.
Impact Winter. It was 4. Impact Winter, Tyrant, and my band Doepel.
The book. Okay.
And this is like 96, 95.
yeah.
Fast forward to 2 years ago,
Yeah.
I got in contact with a guy out of each one of those bands
Okay.
to form Sekt.
Oh,
So
sick.
all of us have been doing this music since
You're the
95.
OGs. The OGs. Yeah, that's
In Perth,
that's
yeah.
fucking cool, man. So,
So
now you've kind of
we're-
made this super group sort of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of. But, you know, we all come from that lineage.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not just a guy that's discovered it 2 years ago or something.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
But, you know,
No, that's cool. Yeah. Everyone's got their gateway.
Sekt.
Yeah.
That's why, hence the name,
Yeah.
right? So from the old guard, shall we say.
Right. Oh God. Yeah.
And I just said, look, I'm going to write some songs. I want to do this project. No, nothing live, just recording.
Okay. Yeah.
And just release it on Bandcamp.
Yep.
So we did our first thing 2 years ago, and then this year, January, released a mini album.
That's fucking cool, man. And so, like, what would you say the length of your songs are?
About 6 minutes.
6 minutes. Yeah. Because I know like there's a lot of metalcore bands that just do like, sorry, it's not your genre, but metalcore, like they get into like 30-second songs and shit.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
like why? Like, I was just getting to the good bit and it's gone.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that's got to do with tongue in cheek and humour,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I think you have to sort of take that into consideration.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's not my thing.
No.
Yeah.
Come closer.
Yeah.
There you go.
So yes,
So that was Sekt.
that's Sekt. So
And then we can go back to the other project, which is Black Hearse Getaway. Let's talk about that because that's interesting. That is so different from Sekt.
I like that name too, Black Hearse Getaway.
It's freaking
dark.
joy, man. It's
dark.
joy.
Melanie sang on one of the songs.
Oh,
she
did
some
ya?
backing vocals.
Oh, cool.
A long while ago now, but it took a while for Andrew to complete or get that album into completion.
I want to hear that.
Oh yeah, no. Look, it's.
Well, that-
do you know what it was? It was like this. Can I say? So he says to me, "We're gonna go to the studio, and you're gonna go in and do some vocals." I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard the song.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was doing because he didn't know what I was doing yet.
Yeah.
Right. So we get in there and he's like, yeah, do this singer. Ah! And I'm like, And it was just like very impromptu and in the moment. And it was just like,
It was killer.
well, you know, for me, I was never really confident enough just to sort of be improv like that. But it taught me to be.
Anything Mel does is killer.
Oh, come on now.
Yeah,
What's
100%.
the song?
100%.
What's the song called, Andrew? That Melanie song?
Oh, God. No, we don't need to advertise that.
The bell tolls.
The Bell Tolls. Not Metallica's For Whom the Bell Tolls.
Not
This is
for whom the bell tolls.
No,
Just
no.
the bell tolls.
Black Hearse Getaway.
But
The
describe,
Bell Tolls.
just
Yeah.
give us the background of that because it's very, very different project to Sekt.
So,
Yep.
because I was living in Perth all my life, and my oldest friend, Louis Rando, who's a drummer, he and I have done, like I said, that Doepel, the first black metal band.
Yeah.
We did that together back in the 90s. And then we had another project called Shrapnel, which was like a
Yeah,
black
yeah.
thrash band.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning the name just earlier. Yeah.
And then I left Perth and I moved down south.
yeah.
And when you do that,
Yeah.
there's no metal players down there. Where I was living.
Where were you?
Dunsborough.
Dunsborough.
So
yeah,
there's some
okay.
cats in Bunbury.
Yeah.
Past that, there's, Jack Johnson's everywhere.
Yeah. And Ben
Not that there's
Stiller's
anything
as
wrong
well,
with
or-
that.
It is if you want to play extreme metal.
Sure.
So I was devoid of like-minded musicians.
Yeah.
As a result of that, I used to play a lot of acoustic gigs
Yeah.
as well, duo stuff. And I was playing at a winery and the chef came out. The chef came out of the kitchen and he said, how you going, blah, 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 blah. I said, good. And I just, you just know when you're talking to another musician, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You just know.
Yeah.
And I was like, so what do you play? And he goes, drums. I said, oh, yeah.
We're going to make a band.
What kind of music do you like? He goes, you know, Queens of the Stone Age, Foo Fighters, other things that I'm not really, I've heard, I just not, whatever. And I said, okay. And I said, well, you know, let's play some rock and roll cover stuff, right?
Yeah.
So we'll do the Cult and AC/DC and which we did. And then all of a sudden I just went, shit, he's a fucking good drummer.
Yeah, okay.
And his
You
name's
gelled well then?
Matt Hamilton, his name is.
Yeah.
We gelled very well.
I'm pretty sure I've got that guy on Facebook.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
And as a result of that,
Yeah. A baby was born.
Black Hearse Getaway was
Black
born.
Oh, right. Okay.
Because he's a good rock and roll drummer.
Geordie needs to do something here. This is Geordie's job.
Yeah. That's right.
This is why I need Geordie here, man. He's the button guy.
He's the button guy.
I think the sound was more like. There was lots of drinking.
I'll drink to that.
And that's how it happened. And he's a really good rock and roll drummer. And he's more, because I come from that more darker edge stuff. So combined, we had this dark rock and roll project.
So he's got his chops. You've got like the brain.
I got the
power.
metal background, but I still love Motorhead, all that rock and roll stuff.
Yeah. The 4 on the floor stuff.
And that's the incarnation of Black Hearse Getaway, and that's how that happened purely because of I just
Yeah. You needed to do something.
drummer.
Yeah.
Wait, and how would you describe Black Hearse Getaway? Because I know I would describe it not just rock and roll.
It's sort of weird because
I didn't say it.
At the time, I wasn't thinking of anything. I was just playing some stuff. But I got an upright bass player.
Stand-up bass.
Stand-up slap bass.
Sick.
So, my mate Kynan Mole from Margaret River.
Yeah.
He was in a band called the Bloody Hollies. Mm-hmm. Whereas they used to dress up as Buddy Holly and pour blood all over himself.
That is sick.
In Margaret River, like a punk.
Did they do Buddy Holly covers, like punked up?
Like,
could you imagine?
That'd be sick.
That would. So because we had that element as well, so it had me on guitar, Kynan on upright bass, Matt on drums.
Yeah.
Now you're in psychobilly territory.
Yeah, yeah.
And rockabilly, psychobilly, which is what Kynan's background is.
I fucking love rockabilly, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Kynan, loves his psychobilly stuff.
Yeah.
As well as his, thrash metal. And so,
You mesh it together.
Yeah.
it wasn't rockabilly 50s thing, it was psychobilly.
Yeah.
So which is more...
The punk side of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
100%. So when we had that ingredient, then all of a sudden because on the upright bass it's a slap
Slap.
pull.
Yep.
It's a slap pull. So the beat,
Yeah.
that warrants the beat.
Yeah, that's right.
So that
yeah.
governs how you write a song.
Yep.
As opposed to an electric bass where it's just dun 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 dun
Yeah,
dun
yeah,
dun
yeah.
dun 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 dun.
It's almost
dun
like
dun dun
2/4.
dun. It's
Yeah.
put that,
Yeah.
which is almost like a thrash metal beat, right?
Yeah.
Man, you're getting me into writing mode now.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So
Yeah.
then I changed my style of how I strummed
Yeah.
to suit an upright. So in my head I was like, well, rhythmically
Yeah.
it has to be like this.
Yep.
Which then evolved into this sort of psychobilly-ish sound.
What
with
tuning
rock
did
and
you
roll.
use?
Standard.
Still
I
standard
use standard
tuning?
for
Yeah.
everything.
Everything.
Yeah,
Like
everything.
even your
Everything.
black metal
Yeah,
projects.
black metal
and stuff.
should be in standard.
Yeah, okay.
To those listeners out there.
Interesting. Now, I've always agreed, I've always said tuning should not define how heavy your sound is.
Absolutely.
You don't need to be in drop G tuning to say, oh, we're heavy.
Yeah.
100%. No,
Yeah.
no.
I'm in agreement with you.
But,
Yeah.
in saying
100%.
that, if you're going to be doing really extreme death metal and you got a singer who's very guttural,
Yeah.
you're not
Yeah.
you're not playing an E.
No.
No,
It's
you'd-
B onwards.
You
Yeah,
do
yeah.
it to complement the music. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, so but black metal because black metal's a higher vocal style.
Yeah, yeah.
So E is good.
Yeah.
E is good.
It's very high.
E is good. E is good.
is good.
Ebenezer good.
Oh my lord. Okay, so
Yeah,
we've
so,
got
yeah,
the
that's how that
psychobilly thing happening and stuff. Now I've listened to all your music, right? So and I know how it feels for me when I listen to it. And do you know, when I was at Andrew's house and he wanted to play this album to me and sit there and just, absorb it. And I felt in my brain, I'm a very visual person, but I felt like I was watching in my mind, like watching a film, it was very descriptive. The lyrics are very, they're very typical of you, but it was very horror based and stuff. Like there was that horror theme story to it, and it was so cool because I hadn't heard an album like that before. It was joy. I loved it, and I loved it.
Every song has its own story.
Yes.
Yeah.
But talk about the horror theme thing and how that kind of came from. Where did that come from? Because it's not something that everybody would do. Do you know what I mean?
Excuse me. Well, I think if you listen to bands like the Misfits, or if you listen to bands like Black Sabbath, or any of the darker genre music, Cannibal Corpse, all the lyrics are basically like little horror films.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is what I was talking about earlier about horror films as a kid.
Yeah.
The impact that it had on me.
Yeah.
Pretty brutal.
And it kind of came full circle for you because it translated to me in my brain, and I'm like, Jesus. I'm like Andrew, 8 years old.
But
It's just in a different way.
that's really cool to be able to write something that's got a concept or a theme to it. Because it's more appealing and it stands out more when you do have something to offer visually as well as.
I wanted every song to have its own, like a little mini movie, like a little story, because they are in my head. I can see shit going on in my head.
And it also helps when you want to do a music video as well, because if the lyrics are so descriptive, then you already know how it looks.
Yeah.
A lot of people have related it to a Quentin Tarantino film.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, dude.
In my brain, I was like, I'm only going to say this, but I was in Dracula time in my brain. I was in fucking haunted mansions and the bats and the Dracula. That's kind of
cool.
like
So
and walking down the velvet
merch.
staircases and stuff like that. That's where I was.
I'm happy to hear that.
And I've got Monster Mash stuck in my head.
I think that to me is what good music is. There's obviously so much music out there. People can go down to a guitar shop and buy a $200 guitar right now and do whatever.
Yeah.
Yep.
But a good band to me is something that makes you think or feel something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
That lasts with you. And you want to feel that again, so you listen to it again.
Oh, of course.
Then you become a fan of whatever band it is.
Yeah.
That to me is a good band.
Of course.
So when I write songs, I'm very
Meticulous.
and they all brew.
Yeah. Yes. Yep.
They
stewing on
I don't
something.
just go fucking 30 seconds. There it is.
And I think too, like
The
things that you write, I know you do write a lot of very personal stuff from, or you have used your experiences to write the music as well. Andrew was, I'm not going to go into the whole story, but he was in America right when COVID happened.
Oh, no shit.
And
Dude, that would have been nuts.
and he was on his own there, and he was working in. I'll let you tell the story, but for what I was going to say is that when he came back to Australia. And then all these albums just kept pouring out, and I'm like, when's it gonna stop? It's not gonna stop, right? But I think it was those experiences, whether good, bad, or ugly, help create all the things that you write about, right? And so, for him to be back in Oz now for 4 or 5 years? 5 years now. It's just this continuum of music that's coming out of him, and I'm just like, okay, keep going.
Two
Keep going.
things happened. I stopped drinking 5 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
And stopped
Congrats.
taking no drugs, no drinking. My life was a lot more chaotic, shall we say.
Yeah.
Back then.
5 years.
Yeah.
And beyond ago.
And then,
So since being back, I've just had a lot of time to rebuild my life and then focus on when you. This is, I think, what it is. When you have an opportunity to start from fresh with just a suitcase and a pair of boots and a guitar, literally that's all you've got.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then you've got a great
The world is your blank
empty
canvas.
That's right, the canvas thing.
I've
right?
been there before, bro, and
like
I know
press and
exactly
reset.
what you're talking
I've
about.
been there quite a few times.
Yeah.
But
you-
this time was interesting because I was sober. See.
Yeah.
So I was really was very dedicated, and I still am.
Yeah.
To just a different lifestyle.
Yeah.
And music is always in us, or creativity is in an artist regardless, right?
Yeah.
All that shit that I believed, how it should be, I needed to have this, this, and this to be able to be creative
Yeah.
in substances. That's just a fallacy. I've never been more busy in my life.
No, and I can
in fact.
attest to that.
And that's
100%.
so that just being sober, having time, and like I was saying before about giving myself time.
Yeah.
So it's almost like meditation for me. Is just I can just sit there. I've learned how to sit and be still now for the first time ever.
Yeah.
And by doing so, then all these ideas conjure up. And luckily for me, I've got a very deep well of people that I can just great musicians. So I can just go, I want to do this, and they always say yes.
Yeah.
So
I'm very lucky.
You've found your calm.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, that's really good, man.
Yeah, thanks, man.
And like
45, and I've done it.
Yeah,
especially
well done.
like giving up the drink as well.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I find it extremely difficult because I have my dark days where I've got no one or nothing to turn to. I've got my partner and my friends and stuff, but sometimes it's not
an
enough.
internal thing.
Yeah.
It's an internal.
So you turn to the bottle just to quiet the pain, and
I hear you, man.
yeah,
I hear you.
But music's always there. Like
Well,
it's
you're a
attached to
guitar
your soul.
player, you said.
Yeah.
Well-
I try to be.
Well, we do have a guitar to turn to.
That's right.
So I teach guitar for a living, right?
Yes.
Oh, do you?
So
Cool.
with my students, I've
Yeah.
been doing it for 18 years now.
Okay.
With my guitar students, I teach a lot of different people, right? But
Yeah.
some of the kids, they come from pretty rough backgrounds.
Yeah.
And that's a fact. And I always, they're my favourites because I just
Yep.
go, the guitar.
A diamond in
As
a rough.
opposed to
Yeah.
a needle or a bottle or,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
or some
Any
sort of
other
self-harm.
unhealthy,
Yep.
unsafe choice.
And that's what the beautiful thing about music is.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's really the most important thing.
Yeah.
Mental health, suicide, all these things
Yep.
is a real thing.
Yes.
Yep.
And I think music, to me, is the answer.
cure.
That is the answer and the
Yep.
and the cure for
And
a
it's
lot of things.
A
Because
safe space for you to go into.
a very personal thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a
and
safe
that's
space.
not just anything to do with art or creativity. Be if you're a drawer,
Yeah,
or
whatever
Yes.
medium.
whatever medium.
Yeah.
For us, it's music.
Yes.
Yep.
So that's why for the kids that I teach, I'm like, I push them to just lean onto the guitar, lean onto it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's always going to be there for you.
Yeah.
People will come and go in your life. The guitar will always be there, and it's always waiting for you.
Yeah.
You just got to pick it up. It's there in the corner,
Dude.
and that's my philosophy to my kids. That I
I
teach.
like this
Can
guy.
I know, I love this guy.
Yeah,
Can I just
it's
jump in
the
and tell her
best.
just a little funny anecdote?
Yeah.
When Andrew was living down in Dunsborough, right, I wanted to go down and visit and just spend a few days. So he was teaching because he was teaching from home at that time.
Right.
And now, look, you may not believe this, but I'm not a sporty girl. I don't ride bicycles or any of the thing,
Right.
and never really have. So anyway, I'm at his house. He's there. He's like, my student's going to be turning up. There's a bike out the front. What about just going down for a ride down the freaking coast in Geograph Bay?
I kicked you out of my house.
You did, but all for good cause. Now there's me on this, and it was all. It ain't no lots of like gears and shit to make things easy. Oh no, it was an old bike, and I'm riding down Geograph Bay, and the wind is coming at me, and I'm just like fuck. And I look, it's like, wow, it's been 7 minutes. I'm just going to park here and just sit here and look at the water and just wait. And then I went back to his place and he's all happy, and I'm like,
How was your day?
yeah.
On your bike.
literally, hey.
That's a
But
pretty
there's a
good
great thing
spot.
with Andrew is that we've had very similar lives in so many ways, and he's I used to teach music as well, and so we often talk about that. Obviously, I don't teach music anymore, but. We still talk about that, hey, and how much it affects us and how much we just loved it and what we get from it and how we just want to like inspire and be that person when they literally have nobody else and they come and spend and they really open up
very
to you.
powerful.
It is, man. It really
it's
is.
interesting when you can just and children especially,
Yeah.
they can see straight through someone who's not
Full
real.
of shit.
Yeah.
And I was, my schooling career wasn't the best, shall we say.
Yeah, neither was mine, man.
But, then I became a teacher myself.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah,
No,
well, that's
of
it.
course, the
Yeah.
guitar teacher.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
And they can tell. Like if
Yeah.
you got a kid that's come from a rough background and you're
from the other side of the
basically,
fence.
people can feel comfortable
Yeah.
just being themselves and they know that you're there for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's in a small way, you're influencing their life in
Yeah.
a positive way.
Yeah.
But you're not
But
teaching. Sorry,
you're
I'm
not-
just going to jump
You're
in.
not there as like a preacher. You just,
No.
you just there, you just slide it across.
Yeah.
If they grab it, they grab it. If they don't, they don't.
So-
Happy G,
That's cool.
angry E.
Yeah.
So do you
Let's
want to
do a
just tell
P
everybody
minor.
where you're working from in case they want to like hit you
Well,
up for the guitar lessons?
Yeah, I'm teaching at Music Force in Mandurah.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
4 days a week, Monday to Thursday. I'm also working 2 days a week at my mate's bar. My mate Oscar Tallis, who runs Livid Cafe and Kokomo's in Fremantle. So
Yep.
I worked last night at Livid. We did a six punk band gig.
Yeah, dude, I
in
saw it
Scarborough.
with Blind Spot.
Yeah,
and
Blind Spot played.
The Decline.
Blind
yeah.
Spot.
I
Oh,
love all
Our
those
friends.
bands. There was the Decline,
Yeah,
Blind
yeah.
Spot, Helligan.
Yeah, Helligan, and they were fucking great.
Oh,
they're a great
Helligan are
band.
amazing.
So I never
man.
heard of that band.
I had
Yeah,
not.
Miles.
No.
Miles is a sick guitarist, man.
That whole band was tight as. So
Yeah.
I worked the event, setting the whole thing up,
Yeah.
ran the bar, and then packed
Yeah.
everything down, right?
Yeah.
So I was pretty busy. And that one band, I was like, instantly,
And-
I walked
Who is
into the
this?
crowd, and our mate Michael was there.
Oh,
the deli.
yeah.
And I was like, how are you? He's like, just checking out my man over here on the bass. And I was like, fuck, the guy plays with his fingers.
yeah.
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 Killer.
Yeah.
Tight as metal slash
Punk.
punk slash rock
Yeah.
slash whatever. Killer.
Yeah.
Yeah, loved it.
Yeah.
Killer.
Yeah.
You're putting it in there.
I was impressed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of other punk bands, so it was good. So
Yeah.
Livid Cafe in Scarborough.
Yeah.
We do about 12 events a year.
Do
Fully
you
support live
actually
music.
do you always work at Livid?
Yeah,
Dude, I gotta speak to you. I want to hit you up for a gig.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Oscar Tallis,
Oscar Tallis.
is the man.
Yeah.
Me and him, I just work for him doing all the events and stuff. So
Dude, yeah, I can't wait, man, because
it's
I
Scarborough
love
on
the
the
punk
beach
scene.
in
Yeah.
an alleyway.
Yeah.
and it's super cool.
it's a skate shop, bro.
It's
Like-
a skateboard
It is,
shop.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll spend my whole paycheck there, man.
Yeah, it's great coffee, great
Yeah.
skateboards, great
Oh.
music.
Yeah,
He's
good
basically
coffee.
covered all the bases.
Yes.
You know, and
Yep.
he's got that thing dialed.
Yeah.
And all for the right reasons.
Yeah.
He's genuine as can be.
That
And,
is
and, he,
sick.
and he really supports Perth, West Australian art.
Yep.
Love that.
And not just that,
And
but
we
also
need
art,
more of
art.
that.
Like
Yeah.
he's got a gallery as well. So
Andrew, we are running out of time.
Yeah,
dude.
it's
no drama.
Look, before we let you go, we've got a couple of segments, right? First of all, we've got a segment called What's on Repeat. And that's where if we were to go onto your Spotify, your iTunes, or your CD collection.
It doesn't have it.
no,
No.
you won't. I
What,
refuse to use Spotify.
Yes.
and you know what? Everyone's entitled to their opinion. That's fair enough.
Bandcamp, guys. Bandcamp.
Bandcamp.
Fucking
Yeah.
ripping us
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
What is a song or a band that you've just got on repeat at the moment?
At the currently, Bathory.
Who?
Bathory.
Bathory, not
Bathory.
Like a lift
B-
battery.
Bathory.
yeah, Bathory.
Bathory.
It's not battery,
No,
Bathory.
Bathory.
And talk to us about Bathory. What is it?
Well,
What isn't it?
Bathory started in the 80s by a guy called Quorthon in Sweden. He took what Venom was doing one step further in black thrash metal stuff, and then he added an influence of Viking culture from Sweden and Norway and Scandinavia, and changed his style from black thrash metal to what would be now known as Viking metal.
Viking metal.
So he went from the satanic themes to the studying Norse mythology and incorporated that lyrically into his music.
Oh,
and
that's
then
so-
made
that's
epic
cool.
songs,
Yeah.
epic songs. And that was the second incarnation of what is now known as the second wave of black metal coming out of
Right.
Scandinavia.
Yeah.
Without Bathory, none of that would exist on that level.
Bathory.
You know,
Okay.
so Bathory is the first and last stop for every real person.
That's sick. That's so cool, man. I feel like I'm learning so much.
Dude,
Studying.
honestly,
I've
like-
just been playing it non-stop the last week.
Yeah.
Because there's so much material.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's fucking the best.
Like, I'll just say really quickly, you can never get tired of talking with Andrew, like never.
Yeah.
And especially when we talk about music, I mean, we talk about everything. But like I said, we've been friends forever, so we
You-
talk about everything and everything in between that. But when I go to his house, or if we're driving in the car together or something, it's like he will take a turn in choosing a song and then I will take a turn at choosing a song.
Very different.
And it's very different. And like there used to be a time a while ago, it's probably still now actually, where he used to just take the piss out of me and my music, my music preferences. And then he'll put something on and I would literally look at him and be like,
Yeah.
turn it off.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. Fuck that. No.
It's very cool, but I think, like when you know someone and when you know people, we've all got so many different relationships with different people.
That's it.
Yeah.
The music that I listen to is not for other people.
No.
Yeah.
Well, no, some of it is though.
Primarily.
Yeah, primarily.
Like, I don't have people around my house and put on Bathory.
It's not something you're going to play at the Christmas lunch.
That's for me,
Yeah.
If I have people around socially, I'll put on
Something else.
something more palatable across the board.
So the next time we go and
now
see
and
the
then
grandparents, I should play some Bathory at lunchtime. Yeah.
I think the thing with subgenres is that it's a very personal thing, and when you meet someone like-minded, it's very interesting because you understand, you recognise. Like me, for example, with Fiona and that shirt, right? Instantly, I was like, that's a connection.
That's a connection right there. Yeah. It's almost like telepathy,
But when you have a connection with someone,
Yeah.
but you don't have a connection with them musically,
right.
it can be challenging, right?
Well, the thing is, we do have a connection musically. It crosses. It kind of like, you know how you do those mind maps and you do those circles and one path crosses in, but there's a big gap in there. And it's okay because we work around it. And so...
It's just like frequencies. You need to fine-tune those
Of course.
hertz,
But we respect each other's music.
Yeah, exactly. So, we'll tolerate...
I've heard Mel's new album. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
I cannot stress this enough. I have known Mel for a long time. I've listened to all of her bands that she's been in since we've known each other.
Yeah.
Like we have just said, we've never really had that. I don't necessarily listen to the music Mel does.
Yep.
Privately, but this album, I would.
Yes.
And will. And will.
We're waiting.
I didn't pay him to say that. I promise.
That's a true statement.
Yeah,
I'm so proud of you. It's amazing. It's like world class, and I've always known Mel to be world class. She's just stuck in Perth.
Yeah.
But this time it's on the world stage. If you want to do it, Mel, and you should do it.
This is not a segment about me. It's about you, my love.
Andrew, we are out of time.
Yeah, but thank you so much for
before
coming
we
in.
go, man. All right. Who is someone in Perth, a friend of yours, that you want to see on the show? It's called Called Out. Call them out to the camera.
Interesting. I was actually thinking about this.
Yeah.
I thought you might ask. And I reckon I want Oscar Tallis on here.
All
Oscar
right.
Tallis
From Livid.
We're coming for you, Oscar.
Look at that camera over there, buddy.
Oscar, we'll
You've
see you
been
here
called
on
out.
Big Things Coming in a couple of weeks.
Called out.
Thank you so much for
Failing
coming
that,
in.
if he can't do it, the other person I want on here is Louis Rando.
Yes,
Oh,
bring him.
Is that a
The
double
Führer.
call out, Peter? Double
Louis
call
Rando
out.
Double call out.
or Oscar Tallis, my two brothers in arms.
Dude, I'd like you to feed me their info as
Yep,
well
will
after
do.
we do this. And we're going to go and give them a tap on the shoulder.
Cool.
Andrew, it has been a pleasure
Yes,
having
my
you
love.
here today,
Thank you
mate.
for coming
Thank you
in.
so much.
Yes,
Thanks,
lovely
guys.
meeting you.
And Fiona,
you.
thank you so much for filling in for Geordie.
Sitting on the end here, but
Oh, look, you know,
Thank you
Nice
for
to have
having me.
you.
no, it's good, man. And
Quickly,
that's-
can I ask Fiona a question? Just because she
100%.
hasn't said much today.
Yeah.
I just want to know, what is your favourite Black Sabbath album?
oh,
The favourite album?
oh, God, put me on the spot.
I've been put on the spot for like 15 minutes.
I've always loved their song "Children of the Grave."
Yeah, that was one played last night.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah,
What's your favourite album? But if you had to take it to the desert island, Black Sabbath album.
Can't choose.
Yeah, mine's Volume 4 because it was the first one I ever heard.
yeah.
Okay.
It's interesting how those first albums change you
Yeah.
forever. All right,
All
thanks,
right.
guys.
You've changed us forever. Just letting you know.
Okay.
Thanks for joining
For
us.
the worst.
Be sure to check out Black Hearse Getaway.
Yeah, and Shrapnel and Sekt.
And Shrapnel, all on Bandcamp. Did you say, Andrew?
Yeah, all on Bandcamp.
All on Bandcamp. And you got social media pages, Facebook.
For Black Hearse Getaway, there is
Yep.
on Facebook.
That's it.
That's it.
Yep.
Easy as,
pretty
dude.
low key.
Oh, that's easy. Go
Underground.
and search them. Black Hearse Getaway, Sekt, Shrapnel. Go and listen to them. Support some local music
Yes,
and some
do it.
black metal.
We'll see you
guys.
next time,
Fucking
guys.
Get it in ya.
See ya.
See you guys.
Hi everyone, this is Jardel from Big Things Coming, and we are looking for more guests for our show. So if you're into music, dance, the arts, photography, videography, anything in between, any genres, feel free to send us a message and we'll get you on our show.